Hey guys, welcome back. In this Blender video, we're going to model this mechanical collar mount shape. This is going to be really good practice, especially for hard surface modeling. We'll focus on clean topology and also how to add Boolean cuts properly and then clean them up the right way. So without wasting any time, let's jump right in. First, let's add a cylinder. And over here, set the vertices to 64. So here you can see I also created this model using a 32 vertex cylinder, and overall it actually looks good. But the issue is some of the edges are stretched and they're not perfectly even in certain areas. On curved parts, you start to see a little bit of stretching, some small shading artifacts, and if you look closely, the mesh on those curved areas looks upside down and not smooth and clean. Now, when we look at these sharper sections, you can see the edges getting pulled and the sharpness is not equal everywhere. Another thing is we don't have enough edge loops to properly connect everything. There just isn't enough geometry. And if we connect the edges like this by stretching them, the shape loses its original form and the surface becomes slightly uneven. So now, if you're going for a low poly model and you don't mind a little bit of minor stretching, you can go with 32 vertices. But if you want a really clean hard surface mesh with no stretching and better edge flow, then you can use 64 vertices. As you can see here on the 64 vertex version, the edge flow looks much nicer. We have enough geometry so we can connect everything properly. All the faces are more even, nice square looking, and much cleaner. So for this tutorial, I'm going to use the 64 vertex cylinder. If you prefer 32, you can go with it. The modeling steps will be exactly the same. Now rotate the cylinder 90 degrees. Then let's scale it down a little bit from the side, just make it slightly smaller. Now select the front face and the back face and press I to insert them inwards. After that, go over here and choose Bridge Edge Loops. This will immediately cut a hole through the center. Now in the middle, add a loop cut. Next, let's extrude the side part where we can see it's slightly sticking out. So select these faces somewhere around here and extrude them out just a little bit. Now here, let's add a few loop cuts. This will help support the shape. For this edge, we have a small chamfer, so select that edge and bevel it. And don't add any segments, just keep it at 1 so it creates that sharp mechanical cut. Now add a cut over here, then press J and join these edges. Now let's add a mirror modifier so we can mirror this on all sides. Here, select the axes. Basically, we want it mirrored on all sides. So enable all the axes. And when we turn on the bisect option, it automatically cuts the mesh and mirrors it perfectly across all sides. So everything stays clean and perfectly symmetrical without manually deleting half of it. Now we'll add the top cylinder and join it with this mesh using a Boolean. So go ahead, add a cylinder. And here, set it to 32 vertices, which is half of 64. Try to set the vertex count so it matches the edge flow of the main cylinder, so the edges align closely and can merge cleanly later. Now scale it down and try to position it. Here, change the snapping type to vertex, then move this down and snap it to this vertex here, so it aligns nicely in place. Now to scale and align this properly, here's what we can do. First, select this vertex, then press Shift-S and choose Cursor to Selected, so the 3D cursor moves exactly to that point. Now change the pivot point to 3D cursor. And now you can see when we scale, it scales from that exact point, so we can align it very precisely. I'm going to turn on wireframe and now carefully align the edges of this cylinder with the edges of the main cylinder. Make sure the edges are very close to each other, so later, after the Boolean, we can merge them cleanly and nicely. The closer these edge loops are to each other, the easier it will be to connect them cleanly. If they're too far apart, the geometry will stretch and the shape will change. It won't stay perfectly circular, so keeping them tight helps maintain a clean and accurate shape. Once this is aligned properly, now add a loop cut along this line. Right where this part is going to be cut, This section is extruded slightly outward, so press Alt-E and choose Extrude Along Normals, then extrude it slightly outward. Make sure this edge lines up with this line here. Now in the front, let's insert this face inward. Sometimes it may insert incorrectly like this. If that happens, apply the scale first, then insert inward again. Okay, now let's add the Boolean and join this. We'll use the Bool tool add-on, so first select this object, then select the other object, press Ctrl-Shift-B, and choose Union. Make sure the Bool tool add-on is enabled for this to work. Now both parts are joined together. Okay, so now to cut over here, select these faces, press Alt-E, and choose Extrude Along Manifold and extrude. And now you can see it cuts nice and cleanly. Now again, use Extrude Along Manifold and extrude a bit more. Then delete this middle face. Now we'll join and merge these floating vertices and clean this part. First, turn on Auto Merge here at the top. Now move and slide these vertices and merge them like this. Select the whole mesh, press M, and choose By Distance to remove any overlapping vertices. Then fix this part. Here we can add an extra cut. Then join this part. Now slide and merge these vertices. Here, dissolve this edge, and then add a cut this way. Over here, when we bevel, it might cause some problems, so we'll see how to fix that later during the bevel stage. Now slide this and space it properly. Okay, so this part is fixed. Now we need to space this part nicely. So select all these edges, and then use Loop Tool's Space to space them evenly. This will distribute the edges uniformly and make this area look much cleaner and more controlled. Now here we'll add a cut. So use the knife tool and add a cut. Hold Shift while cutting so it snaps and stays centered. Then add another cut here to remove that triangle and turn it into a clean quad. Select these edges and use Loop Tool's Space. Here, add 2 loop cuts. All right, let's clean up and fix this section. First, add loop cuts and then snap and align them with the existing edges so everything lines up cleanly. Now select these vertices and press J to join the edges one by one. If you see any unnecessary floating vertices like these, just slide and merge them to keep the mesh tidy. Then go ahead and connect these remaining vertices. Now over here, use the knife tool and make a cut like this. Then dissolve this edge. Now let's do the same for the rest of the part. Add loop cuts, slide them and snap a line to the surrounding edges, and then join them one by one. Here, dissolve this edge. Now let's fix this, so slide and merge these vertices together just like this. Here we want to get rid of these triangles, so grab the knife tool, add a cut across here, dissolve this edge, and then slide this vertex like this. And now we have clean quads here. Now here, what we can do is slide and merge this one here, and then repeat the same process. With the knife tool, add a cut across, dissolve the edge, and then slide the vertex. Okay, so here or else we can do it like this too. With the knife tool, add a cut directly here, dissolve this edge, and here do the same thing. With the knife tool, add a cut, then dissolve this edge, and slide these vertices into position. And now, perfect. everything is nicely cleaned up and fixed. Now add a mirror modifier and mirror it on all sides. Now let's fix this inner part. So first, add a cut over here like this. Select that edge loop and slide it closer to this area. While sliding, press E to keep the loop aligned evenly with the surrounding edge flow. If it matches the wrong side, press F to flip the direction. Now add cuts over here and snap them to align with the vertices, then join over here. Here, select this edge and slide it. While sliding, press E so it matches the side edge, and slide it closer to this part here. Now slide and merge these vertices like this. Now to remove that triangle over there, use the knife tool and add a cut over here. Then dissolve this edge. Here, just slide these vertices slightly to space nicely. Okay, so here we'll add a cut in the middle. So with the knife tool, add a cut, then join these vertices. Add loop cuts lining with the edges and join them one by one. Here, dissolve this edge and add a cut over here. Then add an edge over here. And with the knife tool, add a cut something like this. Okay, now this is good. Okay, so over here what we can do is slide and merge this vertex here and add a loop cut here to make it a quad. Or else what we can do is merge this vertex here, dissolve this edge, then select this full edge, slide it and merge it over here, then add a loop cut over here, and add a few loop cuts in this area. And great, this is done. Here, just slide and tweak these vertices slightly. Okay, so now this part is fixed nicely. Now over here, add a few loop cuts. Let's select this edge and extrude it inward. Then add a few cuts there. Now here we'll cut the hole. First, let's apply the mirror modifier so we can select that area properly and work on it cleanly. Now select these faces somewhere around here. And from the inner side as well, select the same number of faces. Then go over here and choose Bridge Edge Loops. This will cut this section and create a hole. This edge line, let's move it and snap it to the front edge line so it aligns straight with it. Now we'll add the circular hole here, select faces somewhere over here, then insert inward slightly and use Loop Tool's Circle to make it perfectly circular, scale it, and fit it nicely into that area. Then extrude it inward, snap it to the back, and delete the faces. Here we need to add cuts, the same number as in the front. So count how many are in the front. There are 6. So add 6 cuts. Then select these faces and delete them. Now select both these edge loops and choose Bridge Edge Loops. And now this part is perfectly done. Okay, now we'll bevel all the sharp edges. First select any sharp edge, then go over here and choose Sharp Edges. This will select all the sharp edges. Check if everything is selected properly. Also flip the normals if needed by pressing Shift-N so it doesn't create any problems while beveling. Once everything looks good, bevel the edges. Set the profile shape to 1 and choose Arc. So the corners become nice arc shapes. Then connect these arc corners wherever needed, like this. We'll only fix one side because the other side will be mirrored. Now over here, this part is completely messed up, so let's fix it. First, remove all the unnecessary edges. Then adjust it like this. So before I told you when we bevel this part, it would create some problems. So just fix it the way I'm doing here to keep it clean and maintain proper topology. Now this looks good and it's fixed nicely. Here, add a few loop cuts. Add a mirror modifier to mirror it on all sides. Then add a subdivision surface modifier. After that, shade smooth the object. And great, this is done, nice and clean, as you can see. All right, that's it. We're done modeling this shape. I hope you enjoyed the process and picked up something useful along the way. If you found it helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also comment below. I'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.